Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another month of Ballroom Mastery Access. It's awesome to have you here. And I would like to encourage you each month to send me your videos. That's right, and your questions. Now, just quickly on a technical aspect, some of you have said that you are unable to submit your questions. Please send me a screenshot or a screen capture video of the problem that you're facing, because the different devices that you're on versus the computers can have, and the browsers you use might have an effect on the compatibility of the software for the membership site. But I doubt that's going to be an issue. But if there's a little technical glitch, I just need to know so it's not a barrier for you to get help each month, okay? But one of the best things that you can do is send me a video. Why? Because sometimes the problems you think are the problem are not actually the problem. And when I watch the video, I'm like, oh my God, this is how we're going to fix that, right? This is how we're going to do it. And so I don't want you to overthink things. And by the way, it's okay if you feel a bit nervous about that. But if you're out there on the floor dancing socially or dancing in front of people in a competition, what are you actually worried about? I'm on your side, guys. I'm on your side. I'm going to help you out. Now, this morning I woke up, like, I was dancing last night. We had a big social event for my studio, and then I'm doing a student's 21st birthday this weekend. And oh, by the way, hi Dave and hi Thara. So good to see you here. Thank you for being live. It's been a while. It's great to see you. And so anyway, she's dancing with me on the weekend. She wants me to dance for her birthday, so she's hired me to do that. And we put together a number. My God, I was dancing so much last night, and I woke up this morning. My balance is just the Leaning Tower of Pisa. All right, just I don't know what's going on. So let me run through this. Just prompted a thing. So if you ever feel that you're like, oh, today I'm not a bit like calibrated. Some of you are like, that's every day, Vaughan. I can't help you there. But with balance, I can. So let's do a quick little thing together for balance. I'll show you something I'll do to help warm up. It's very basic, but it will work. I hope this is what we're praying for. Like, come on, please work, please work. Where's my camera? My camera on? Yeah, cool. All right, guys, give me a second. Let me just switch. I've got to switch these cameras here. Boom, boom, boom. Eventually, it will work. I just did a test before. What is happening? Anyway, Okay, give me a second, y'all. Well, that's perfect. Perfect. Just as I go live. Now the stuff doesn't want to do its thing. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just have to stand here and talk. All right. This is what I got in trouble at school for. Too much talking. Ladies and gentlemen, just give me a quick second. Let me just figure this out. It's been a bit weird. Okay. Now I've got a few questions in the waltz, some form and function questions, and two videos from you all today to critique and look at in the Latin styles, cha-cha and jive. So I'll get to those in a mo. And my thing should hopefully play ball. Okay, there's all that. I'm going to cue some music. Give me a quick second, y'all. This is awesome. Now, I'm not sure if y'all can see this. I'm going to just do it that way. That's probably a better way. Cool. Okay, there we go. All right, so balance, as we were saying before. So literally just go on one leg. So what you got to feel for balance position problems is that you'll notice that your core is pulling you off and everything like that, right? So go on one leg and just sort of go up and down, feel the wobbles in your foot, right? And try to correct that a little bit, try to maintain connection to the floor through like your whole foot. Take one foot off the floor, bend the knee over towards the big toe, okay, so it's not going out. If you feel your foot like wobbling a lot, that's what you're trying to stabilize, and then work up the leg by feeling the knee go forward and the pelvis stay in the right position. So it's not like flopping and like bending and moving and turning around, going back and forward. And keep, of course, your head. So if we work up the body, trying to keep the set like the sternum towards the ball of the foot, and then the head over the ball of the foot, and then just go up and down a little bit. And what you're trying to do is like activate your muscles, work the, like warm them up a little bit, and find like a good place for balance. Okay, so just do a few on each foot, and you'll find that you start to I suppose warm up the engine, if you will. Okay, so for me, I'm a bit like a steam engine. I need a lot of coal to get going. Once I get going, I'm good, right? But it takes a little bit to get the engine going. These 8:30 starts, my God, you guys are killing me, right? I hope the time works though. So, okay, you just do like a feel on each foot. You can feel that all of a sudden, I know I can feel in my body, I'm starting to get a bit more stable, which is good. Because I wasn't feeling that before this show. I was like trying to do some movements and I was like, oh Christ, today, yesterday I was on fire with balance, right? But now I feel good. So, hope that helps. That's a little easy thing to do. It's very straightforward. Now, let's roll into this. Where are we? Come bringing it back. Bring the show back. Live, this is what happens when you go live. You don't know what can happen, okay? Booyah, the waltz, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so from Derek, thank you for bringing this in. Nice to hear from you again, my man, over in Hawaii. Son of a bitch, that's so nice. You're in Hawaii? You're so lucky, dude. That's awesome. I don't know if it's lucky, but the water's amazing and the surf's amazing. So, wing. After the gentleman takes his first step with the right foot, is there any shifting of the weight to the left, or do you remain on the right? You remain on the right. I feel like I should be shaping my body rather than just standing there. Can you go into more detail for this step from entering it, executing it, shaping it? And if any, then exiting. I know you mentioned that I shouldn't try to go straight out and that I would need to rotate around the lady. Is this correct? Can you demonstrate? Sure, I sure can. So the wing is a great step, old step, old step. So I've got three little tips here for you that I'll quickly answer first, then I'll demonstrate, right? So there's some notes here for the lady that I'd like her to think about. So there's three here, and this will be helpful for the man. Okay. Well, actually, I'll give the man's tips, and I'll give you some tips. Okay, Derek, for your partner. So this is the tip for the man. The weight should be carried slowly, right, over beats 2 and 3. So 2, 3. All right. So you're sort of hesitating there. All right. So that the pelvis is carried over the ball of the right foot. So at the end of that, you want to feel that your pelvis is shifted over towards the right foot. And there should be continuous flowing movement throughout the figure. Now, in terms of rise and fall, there's no rise for you, but for the lady, she's going down and then she rises into 1, continues on 2, she's up on 3. So you're not actually going to rise. So your right knee also must remain flexed. So keep that in mind. One of the other things that's unique about the wing is the lady is shifting again from the right side of your body to the left, which is unusual. It's very unusual to have the lady on the left side of your body for any particular figure. So it's a little bit more difficult. So yes, shaping is going to be very important, and you're going to need to stretch your left side to help her come around you. Okay. Now, another little thing people do forget about the wing is that there is a turn on it as well. Now, it does depend on the step. So let me get into the actual figure so people know where we're at. So, okay, we're looking good. Okay, the wing. So the figure itself, you can take it from promenade or from a different position, which is called a closed wing, all right? So we're gonna take it from promenade today. So from here, when I step forward, all right, there, down the line of dance, so I keep that knee flexed, and then I'm gonna turn. So my body, I'm just gonna hold this for a second. So the wing itself goes like this, there, all right? And then the lady's on my left side. I'm ready to step out in CBMP into, say, a telemark, for example, all right? Harder to do things like a fall away from there, but you can do it. Okay, so we go again. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay? So not my finest demonstration. My body's feeling a bit funny, but here's what I want you to think about. So you're in promenade position, point down the line of dance, and then your foot has to turn diagonal to center, okay? So there's your 1/8 of a turn. You turn through the ball of the right foot. The left foot over beats 2 and 3 is slowly closing. So you're drawing that foot in, and as you do that, you're turning. And as you turn, of course, your hips and upper body and pelvis is over the ball of the foot, and you keep that left side stretched. So you can feel the lady is going to be right here, contact position on your left hip. That's sort of the idea. And you want to keep the contact, right? So now, ladies, when you're coming forward, so you've got to go forward in CBMP and promenade, so you're down the line of dance. Now you're going to turn through the ball of your right foot and then your left foot. So you're going to step towards the center and you're going to turn through this foot, yeah, around the man, boom. And then really importantly, keep your head well to the left when you do that. So that way, and again, small step, so you're managing to pass the man and stay in contact with him, all right? Then you can lower and then move back into like whatever's next. The thing is you want to feel the feet like turn and swivel a little bit, okay? In terms of the position, just remember, stretch your left side and you'll feel a much better contact position together. All right, so I hope that helps you. So just keep in mind that if you do the closed wing, it's going to be a different figure. And again, you can always do a little reference check in Dance at Home for any figures you're struggling with. But remember, what's really important is that I've gotten better since doing that program, even though it's quite extensive. So I always have extra things that I can teach you about certain steps, mainly because you can't see it behind me, but behind that table are boxes of technical books on ballroom dancing, okay? And Latin dancing, of course. And I use them all the time. So I'll always find little extra things that I can give you in these Q&As. So you and I are always getting better together, all right? That's one of the mantras I have, is that it's progress over perfection, and we're always getting better at this, yeah? Okay, so let me know, without going into any more detail, that should help you a lot. Just try to make sure you maintain connection through your hips and pelvis, okay? And to turn through the ball of your foot. Do, 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 do. Okay, from Kevin in the UK. What's up, Kevin? Hi, Vaughan. My question this month is how to practice spotting and how to maintain balance when turning and spinning. I apologize if this topic has already been covered. That's okay. It's quite an important topic, and to be fair, it's something that would be great for the video I want to do with Diane for her cha-cha. And look, yeah, I have covered this, but guess what, everybody? Wicka, wicka, I'm a broken record. This is what my coach always used to say to me. He said, Vaughan, I am a broken record. She had to repeat the same shit like all the time. And honestly, I didn't even feel bad about it because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I swear last lesson we probably just went through it, right? And the lesson before. But unless there's something about learning that's very important. There's what the teacher says, okay? There's what the student understands. And they do not line up 90% of the time, okay? So that's an important thing to understand. Why? Well, let's just say in your mind, you've got your own idea about what you're trying to do. The teacher comes in with the information, sometimes the same information, sometimes new. You may not be ready to hear it, number one. Number two, you may not be ready to execute it because the problem, and Diane, this is important, listen to this, the problem that you're experiencing in your head, you're thinking, this is why I have that problem. Teacher saying, no, this is your problem. And you're like, this is why I have the problem. So what you think is the problem is dominating you, and you're not ready to hear what the teacher's going to say. So you have to be willing to, it's not about being open or closed-minded. It's just understanding that if your way isn't working, try doing what your coach is telling you rather than what you think you should do. And so you have to actually hear the same answer like many different ways. And at one point it sort of lands. And that's very, very important for things like turns and spotting, because it's easy to hear the theory, then you go to do it, and like your brain just overrides what you just learned from the coach. You understand? So it's like, it's a really crazy, learning takes time. All right, everyone. So just don't stress out if it doesn't work the first 400 times you try it. Okay? This is where Thomas Edison kicks in. You know, the whole 10,000 attempts of the light bulb or whatever. I don't think it was 10,000, but it was a lot. And then eventually it worked. Yeah. So we just have to get it once, and then we understand. Now, there are always foundations to things working. So what I will remind everyone, this is a really great way to think about learning, particularly in dancing. This is so good because we can fall back on technique. Always think of the structure of A, B, C, D. So everything we're doing in terms of movement, there's an A part of it, a B part of it, a C, and a D. Now, often when it comes to, say, turning or spotting, people try to go from A to D. They forget about B and C and wonder why they have problems. So there was a video maybe last month or the month before, it broke down the turning 3-step. So I'm not going to go into great detail today on that, because you can go back a month. You'll see it in the actual questions in the descriptions. So skip to that part of the video and have a look, and then understand the A, B, C, D components. If you try to go from A to D in a movement and you miss B and C, you're always going to suck at that movement or have problems, because just like a house, you cannot just put a roof on top of a foundation. You need a frame, right? And you need the plasterboard, and you need the wiring, right, to be able to put a roof on. You need all of that. You need at least minimum the structure, right, to put the roof on. So the point is that That's what a lot of people do in dancing. They're trying to get like the fancy expression. They have no idea about the foundations, right? So if we can look at turns real quickly and spotting. Now you're saying spotting. Now that may or may not be the problem, right? So if I saw your video, and this is very important to understand, the problem you think is a problem may not be the problem. The problem you think is a problem may not be the problem. So here's what we think about with spotting, right? So what is spotting? It literally means you're turning your head with your eyes on the horizon. So first of all, eye line in terms of turns is always at the horizontal line, right? It's not ever down, okay? And it's not elevated up, because up and down, where your eyes go, the body follows. So if you do a turn, boom, right? You see my head, I'll do it slowly. I want to be looking where I want to come out, okay? So where my eyes go, the body follows. Now, the spotting is actually like, it's part of the turn, but it's sort of the end part. So if you do a bad entry into a turn, and say I'm looking down, then I decide to spot, I've sort of gone from A, C, D. I've missed B. So we've got to make sure that everything's lined up. I want to go step, okay? Head is going to be the last to leave and the first to arrive, not the first to leave and the last to arrive. You understand? So the head is the spotting, right? The eyes. So as I create that turn, right, use my foot, then my shoulders, and then I create my close, boom, and then come around with the head. Okay, so we want to do it in that order. You could see the technique and it worked very well. If I can do that slowly, I'll be able to do it fast. Now, if you look at a spot turn, all right, which our feet are going to, so I'm going to step through here, plant the weight, pay attention, Diane, this is coming your way. Then I'm going to create the turn. I use my shoulders or hips or both, right? Create the turn, head came around, didn't it? So I don't turn my head yet. I'll explain this for an Alemana. The head, we use the head differently in Alemana, everyone. This is very important if you do rumba or cha-cha to understand. Definitely in rumba. So I'll explain the difference in some of these turns in a second. But for the sake of argument, when we do a spot turn, we're going to go here, then turn sharply there, and use the head, eye line up, boom, and then back around. Okay? Now, even that small change, you will notice a difference. Okay. Now, I'll do it now because for the sake of teaching, critiquing the video, it'll make it an easier reference. This is my teaching juice, coffee, black coffee, no sugar. Let's go. So when we do an Alemana, there's something called a, okay, so if we look at timing, so in rumba, I'll use this as a tangent, you create the turn on the preceding beat. So if I'm stepping on 4, you know, so if I do my element, so 4, 1. So I step on 2, 2. Now we try to step then turn. So I step first, then I create my turn, yeah, and then I'm going to come out of it. Now an Alemana is 3 walks, so this is important because a spot turn is literally on the spot, half a turn. And an Alemana is 3 walks turning, and most people do this wrong. You guys are going to be like some of the most best Alemana-y people on the planet because most people do a spot turn for an Alemana. Now, let me explain this. So, 3 forward walks turning is different to half a turn and then coming out, all right? So what the ladies must do is as they step into their Alemana, and generally you do it, let's say from fan, and I will do it from fan to make it a bit easier. So this is the lady steps, right? So I'm going to close, forward, there. So I've already done an 1/8 of a turn at the end of my walk from fan. Now going into the Alemana, the head is already shaping to the right. So this is what's interesting in this, right? Watch. So 2, 3, 4, head is already turning. Then I'm going to step forward, 2, 3, and then 4. So you can see the shaping of the feet, yeah? Now, it's crazy when you do this properly because it feels pretty cool. Now, there's a lot of turn still happening throughout the feet. I won't break that down just today, but keep in mind that the head itself is already creating a shape. Now, so this is why we're not worrying about spotting because we're doing forward walks with a turn, which is different, right? So understand the difference. So ladies, you can shape your head well to the right. The man's obviously there with his hand up, and then you step forward first, yeah? Extend the leg forward. Notice I've turned the foot out, so I've already made sure I can step first, right? You can brush your foot keep that head shaping. Boom. You can brush the foot. All right. Then you can come out. Boom. And then look where you're going on the next bit. Dudum. Right? Or ending to the side. Anyways, the point is that when we're creating a Alemana, it's going to be different to a spot turn. And again, different to a turning 3-step and different to a spin. So we have different sort of body positions and shaping happening. So an Alemana, you don't want to think of it as necessarily as a turn. Certainly nothing like a spot turn or a turning 3-step. Okay, so see how that works. And I know that was a bit of a tangent, but that's sort of came to mind that made it important. So Kevin, I want you to just use your eye line, pick a spot on the wall when you're practicing turns, or you pick a spot turn or you do a spot turn, pick a spot to look at when you come back around, and just see how that goes for your balance. All right, so here we go, rocking out. You guys doing cool? How you doing out there? All right, so what is the next bit? Yeah, it's exciting times, guys. We're getting into the videos. All right, so let's get into the first cha-cha video, and with some cool little things to help you out. Let's go there. So there's a fair bit to cover here. All right. Now your question was about hypermobility in your knees. You're fixated completely on the wrong problem. Don't worry about that. That's like that's sort of like I don't doubt it's an issue in your body, but it's not the cause of your problem with your dancing. So let's look at a couple of things. Timing is good, first of all. So almost good, right? So you're managing to keep on time, but there are some points where, particularly around the tops that you're doing, the natural tops where you're losing time. And I understand in one instance there was someone in the way, so that can be a bit disconcerting. But you want to make sure you keep that time, be on time. So even if you have a great technique, for example, being off time is never going to score you highly in a competition. It's going to completely downgrade you. If you were in first position, as an example, and then all of a sudden you're dancing off time, let's say for 2/4 of the dance, or just even 25%, you're going to drop straight away. Like, you're not going to remain first if you're off time, obviously, right? So missing one bar is different to being off time, right? Consistently. So anyway, so keep that in mind. Now, so that's sort of like an easy side thing. Now, do you know what a platypus is? You ever seen a platypus? They are a crazy looking creature. Don't dance like a platypus, right? So what I mean by that is, and this is for everyone, so don't worry, it's not just Diane. It's very common. Flat-footed dancing, okay? So platypus is I swear God was, he was on drugs when he made that animal, right? If there is such a thing as a God. But the thing is, so the flat-footed thing, you have to learn to use your feet better. That's going to help your weight and help you create more time. So I'm going to get into that in a second, how to do that. The other thing is with your, so we've got two problems here: poor quality turns and flat-footed dancing. And I want to address both of those because they're going to actually help with the issue of your legs. Okay, so let's look at the idea of turns. So in your New Yorkers, in your spot turns, and any underarm turns you're doing, and I'll use the video to show this is why it's really good to have. And this is, again, a common problem, all right? Very common. Your foot is not turning out at all. You're actually turning your foot in, and it's throwing you way off balance, believe it or not, yeah? Now, this is where people say, oh, it's the speed of the music. Like, no, it's just slow, poor execution of the technique. So Ah, so fast. Now, why can't I slow this down? There. Right. What should the position of that be for that underarm turn? That foot should be turned way out the other direction. So, for example, we want to be clicking to a different clicking to a different camera. That's what I want to be doing. So that underarm turn, as example, you've already gone. I'll do it towards you. Okay, so you've gone 4 and 1, 2, and you're already. This is your body. Okay, like that. So where you should be is with the foot turned out first. Here, this is your body, and then from there you'll find that turn is much quicker, sharper as well, and that's your balance line. So although you might, like I said, you might, what the teacher says, what you understand, and what you're doing, they can all be different things, right? So what I'm stressing to you to do is to force yourself through discipline to have your foot turn out and then create the turn. So the rule is step, turn, step, turn. Now this is not a step. That is bad technique, you understand? Foot turning in is not correct. So that's not a step. We must think of stepping, then turn. That's what we're aiming for. Now, I'll show you where else that happens as well. And again, don't feel bad about anything. This is how else are you supposed to freaking learn, guys? You know, you got to drop your ego to learn to dance because your pride can get hurt if you're too yeah, so you did it again. Do you see that? So boom. There. So that New Yorker was good, right? So you turned it out there. Great. That's good. Some people don't do that, right? Where the platypus is kicking in now, right? The platypus. So let's get into the next thing. Okay, so you ready for the tip of the year? Tip of the year. Sexy ankles, baby. Sexy ankle. Who's ready for some sexy ankles? So, all right, when you, this is going to help tremendously. So there's actually underlying principles in this, but every step you do, right, we want to complete it with full weight unless the step needs part weight or minimal weight. So there's 3 categories of weight: full weight, part weight, minimal weight. Okay, very easy to understand. Let me show you. And this is where we're going to get away from platypus dancing. All right. So if you stand with your feet apart in the middle, this is part weight, 50-50 between the feet. Now, if I shift my foot weight to either foot, okay, full weight. All right. I'm now over the supporting leg. This is called minimal weight because I'm touching the floor, and there's pressure in the toe, but let's say 1 to 2 or 3%, and then the 97% is in this leg, right? But that's what we call full weight and minimal weight. All right. So part weight, full weight, minimal weight. Now, what you're struggling with is full weight, and don't worry. This is everyone watching this, unless you are a top dancer who's trained every day for years, this is a big problem for dancers to conquer because yes, the music and the tempo is quick, but why is it quick? Because you're too slow. Now, why are you too slow? All right, it's not because you're unfit or anything like that. It's actually because you've got to train yourself to complete steps correctly. So for example, if I rock back in cha-cha, I'll do it side on so you can see, and I don't lower my heel correctly because of the speed, quote unquote. Remember, it's not the speed, you're too slow, right? The heel staying up, I'm not completing my step and I move into the next bit. I'm always going to be either off time or off balance. So completing the step means that not only does the heel go down, but my body weight is actually on that step. The free leg, so supporting leg, free leg, this is what you need to stretch. So your focus, whatever step you do, when you finish a step, you're going to stretch your ankle, right? So you can see my left foot is extended, but I'm in ballroom shoes, so it's not like the best point. But I'm stretching that ankle. Why? Because what it forces your back foot to do is to actually complete the step. You understand? So by lifting that, you'll feel it. And then you can sort of like do a touch. What you'll notice, I'll put my body forward a little bit. Now, notice my foot's flatter, isn't it? This is where you're at. You're in between. Now, it's only a small change in a way. It's hard to do, but it's a small change. But if you lift that up, you're going to notice your weight shifts back. Do you see what just happened then? That was a consequence of this foot. And that's what's missing. So then you end up being on these flat feet and then doing steps, cha, 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 and sort of halfway between the movements. Now, again, part weight matters on lots of steps. We use that for, say, New Yorkers, right? I can do a New Yorker and have my weight here. That's fine. That's part weight. That's intentional, and it's a different feeling. So you're not always going to be full weight, but most of your steps where you end a movement, like not New Yorkers necessarily, because you can do those part weight, as I said, that's not a problem. But when you finish a New Yorker, right, and you come back, you want to stretch that foot. See what I'm saying? That's where you're going to get a better position in terms of balance and movement. And I can't stress how important this is, because if you watch a competition at the level you're at, the level above, even the level above, you're going to still see that problem across all the dancers. Now it disappears as the grades get better. Isn't that interesting? That's one of the things you'll start to notice, is that the completion of steps is far more evident. And then the result of that is more obviously balance, timing, strength of movement, speed, right? So foot speed kicks into this a little bit for sure, right? So you want to have fast feet, but it's the completion of weight that's one of the, like at all the lower categories of, say, bronze, silver, and even early golds, depending on the age, you will still see that issue there. I have this issue with girls that have danced with me for 10 years. I still tell them, broken record, you've got to finish your steps. And like, oh, I thought I was. It's like, yeah, but they notice as soon as they start getting on the leg properly, like bang, they can transfer the weight much better. That's where all the hip action, right, starts to help your legs and feet to be quicker. Yeah. So, okay. Now, so the flat feet can be cured by what? Stretching your ankles when you've completed a step. Okay. In terms of the turns, you're going to turn your foot out. Now, here's an exercise everyone can use. This is a practical way of actually starting to train completion of steps. So what we'll do is we'll just call it the one-legged exercise. And all you're going to do is do your cha-cha without music. But when you finish your steps, I'll go like cha-cha one. I want you to bring that leg off the floor. And you're going to notice, wow, I really need to have my center over my foot, because you're going to wobble, yeah? And you'll probably do the touch, you know, for stability and life-saving balance, right? But if you can't stand on that one leg, you haven't found where your weight should be at the end of a step. And that's what you're trying to fix in your dancing. This is how you warm up. Cha-cha one, lift the leg up, right? Then go forward. The foot doesn't have, you're not doing foot pressure here. So who cares? So take the next step, turn your foot out for the love of God, and lift your back leg off the floor. If you can't balance there, what's the problem? Your pelvis, your body, something is off and you haven't got stability. You need that. That's completing a step, by the way. Then I go back, lift that leg up, finish the step. Now, what you're dancing it like is like you're almost on the leg, then you're going into it and a little bit back and cha, cha, cha. So it's all flat. So you actually, believe it or not, have never fully finished a step most of the time. Sounds weird, right? Because like, oh, but I'm dancing to the music. I'm getting through my routine. Yeah, but in what quality, right? What's the rhythm looking like, you know? So try it. So cha-cha one, lift the leg, then forward, lift it up, pause for a second, go back, lift it up, then do your basic cha, because you're not going to stop on the chassé, then do the other leg, right? Find your balance line. Boom, 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 right? Cha, 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 do New Yorker. Boom, lift it up, go back, lift it up. See? Cha, cha, cha. Now, remember, you're not going to dance like this. Otherwise, people are like, what the hell are you learning online? But believe me, do it now. Stand up in your workplace. You'll feel, holy shit, I'm really sucking my balance. And then you'll have a new problem in your mind. Be like, how do I get that balance? You'd be like, well, Ballroom Mastery Academy, ladies and gentlemen, super awesome plug time. But yeah, we talk about posture, right? You gotta understand the foot and the posture principles create balance, don't they? So if we understand our posture principles, we're gonna have balance. As long as our feet are behaving, which is why when you turn, you can't have your feet do this, because your balance will be thrown off. You understand? So I hope that helps. I want you to try it. Do your rumba as well, like this. This is a great way to warm up. You're going to really find a connection. And again, do it for the next, between now and next, this is for everyone, between now and next Q&A, do that 5 or 10 minutes every time you dance and just start to see how your balance improves, because you're also training the muscles, aren't you? You're strengthening by lifting one leg. That is hard. All right. If I make it look easy, I've done a lot of that, right? Just to get that balance. And again, like I showed in the beginning of today, I was feeling very rusty. That one-legged thing plus this, I start to get my body in a good position, always lifting out of the pelvis, always keeping my head up, my body in the right, stacked in the right spot. You're going to find that simple exercises have a lot of power and a lot of effect. Now, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything there, because this was a very good video. So thank you for putting yourself on the altar, on the slaughter, so everyone can benefit from it as well. Yep, no, we did that. We smashed it. Okay, let's get into Miss Sampson, Liz and Graham. Let's go. We're going to do some jive now. Here we go. Graham, I could slap you. I could slap you. You guys have so much presence. I love it. I love that you go out there, you're like, hell yeah, we're gonna smash it. Now you came second this, right? Okay, so we're gonna start with something very simple, and I'll tell you why I want to slap you. Okay? Okay? Because that's how we do it in Australia. Tough love down here. I'm just kidding. People are pretty soft, they couldn't handle that. So you, my friend, we're gonna start with you, Graham. You need to lower your heel every single time you do a fall away rock. In fact, for both of you, I'm going to focus on the fall away rock. And you might say, what is that? That is the link that begins pretty much all steps in jive. Not pretty much, all basic figures begin with 1, 2 of a fall away rock or 1, 2 of a link rock. Okay, I will explain the difference between the two because they do matter. And more importantly, you've got to get your heel to lower when you do this. So let's get straight into that. And this will benefit the world of dancers. Okay, so first of all, a link rock is generally danced when you're facing your partner. So what is a link rock? Well, as the man, your left foot goes back underneath the heel and you lift up the front heel and you recover. That's your link rock, right? So you know this one, you're facing your partner. Say you're up beginning of your stop and go, right? So you're going back and then rocking forward. Now, what did my back heel do, Graham? It lowered and touched that floor. Now, if I take too big of a step, because of the speed of the music, I'm not going to be able to lower that heel, am I? And then step forward. That's what you'll find is happening. So make your step a little smaller. Now, again, it's not like this, right? We'll do that for Liz in a second. You want to step back underneath where the heel is of the supporting foot. Okay, there, 1. So 1, then lift that front heel up, shape the knee, and then 2, swing the hips forward. Now that's your link. When you do a fall away rock, you're turning more. Your body's actually creating a bit more of a turn, and you're generally going to like a promenade position. So for example, if you do a basic, all right, it's a basic is called a fall away rock. You're actually turning that back foot more because you're generally going to say promenade. Now, the difference for that is that your hip is going to swing more, but the feet still do the same thing. The back heel has to go down. The front heel has to come up. See the shape? 2. So just do this. This is all you do as an exercise. Take Liz's hands, right? And then keep the body up. Weight forward into the balls of your feet because it must remain there even as you do this. And between you, put a coin in your hands there. Like so, where the palms are, you put like a coin like at the bottom. So you're not gripping each other with your fingers. You actually want pressure through the palms. So that way, when you're holding like this and the weight is up and forward, as you link, you want that pressure to be maintained between the two of you. You understand? So you're not pulling away. You see the problem here if I did that? Which is common. A lot of people will do this when they do a link rock. They'll move their body back. We actually want to stay up and forward towards our partner. You're going to notice your body's going to feel things that ain't never felt before. You'll be like, oh my God, that I can't dance as much. Yeah, because we're trying to actually tighten it up because you want energy when you do these links. Yeah, you want to create energy when we link, not take the energy in the wrong places. Yeah, because again, that's going to slow you down. So if we think about that link now properly, so you got that position, and we're just going to practice a few of those again. So you'd be like 1, 2, then again 1, 2, and 1, 2, right? Keeping that position. See my feet? Heel went down, didn't it? Now, Liz, your steps are going to be different. So ladies, when you do a link or a full A rock, you actually want to create a very tight position in your feet. So you want to be almost, and I wouldn't exaggerate this because it looks shit, right? If I cross there, that's bad, right? So you want to be like there, super tight, and your heel, of course, will lower. You're going to see how tight my legs are. Then you're going to bring that front knee up and then down. Now you'll notice that between the back and the front leg, okay, between the back and the front leg, there's no daylight. So I'm not playing. You're not going to see this in the knees. So super tight. The ladies actually have, in my opinion, you have different technique for this than the man because you're trying to create, and first of all, or not first of all, I'll just finish this thought. So I want to create that tight position. The heel goes down. The weight's still forward, right? So I can create a swing. Because what is jive, everyone? What is the character of the dance? Swing. Say it with me now. Swing. Not plonking. It's a swing dance. Bum, bum. It's a swing. So you have to move. To create that swing is a good link. So if I go back here, I'm not really creating a swing. It's more like a rock, like a throwing of my body weight. Anyway, so with the weight forward, Liz, when you are holding with the coins, you're going to take a tighter step, weights up and forward, boom, and then boom. Now your hip, ladies, how much does your hip turn? Let's just say as a rule, you're going to want to create, if this is like my 0 point, I want my hip to go 90 degrees. The man doesn't do this, by the way. The amount of hip swing is different for the man and woman. So from here, when you go back, you want your right hip, as you lower that heel, to go what? To that wall. Yeah, and then of course lift that foot up. Then swing forward. So you're gonna feel all sorts of contortion. Boom. Why? Because you need the power to swing out of it. All right, so where's that hip going? Quarter of a turn. Every time you go back, you're going to find when you do that, you're going to create bum, bum. You're going to create so much more power. And then, of course, for you, Graham, your hip is going to turn, still the heel going down, right? Yeah. Okay. That hip isn't going to go back as much as her. You're not a woman, all right? Dance like a man. So you do a little less, and then, because our roles are different in dancing, right? With lead and follow, there's actually a fair amount you've got to do. So we're not mimicking the lady, right? Okay, so that's going to be like an 1/8 of a turn, if you will. So you're still going to do the hip, but less. Okay, so we've done the feet positions and the hips. Now, here's one thing that's very, very cool to know about jive. You actually change the technique of chasses if the music is slower. Now, how slow? All right, let's take a foxtrot speed, for example. Now, you're never going to have that in comp, but this is important to understand. In terms of chasses, you typically dance them like ball flat. So if the music is slower, you dance it almost a bit flatter. So ball flat, ball flat, ball flat, ball flat, ball flat, ball flat. When the music is competition speed, you can dance on the balls of your feet. So ball, ball, ball flat, right? Ball, ball, ball flat. So in the middle of the chasse, you're on the balls of both feet, yeah? And you lower at the end. Bum, 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 bum. And the feet can either close or close towards. So in technique books, they're like close towards. Competition, this is nicer to do. Try to close your feet together in the chasse. See how it goes for you. Tighten it up a little bit. So you're going like 1, 2, close, then finish, right? Close, then finish. And a 1, 2. So you're not sort of shuffling like that. Do you see the difference in the in the quality. Now, what else was there? One more thing, because I know it's a lot of information, but that's why we record it, so you can go back through it. Hint, hint. You want to make sure that you have a pickup, especially with a higher tempo or a competition speed, which is 44 bars a minute. So anywhere from like 40 to 44 bars is the normal tempo, right? And you will notice a difference in those speeds. But there should be a feeling of what we call a pickup before you step. Now, this is a cool thing to know because it's not often talked about, all right? So, but I'm about to link back on my left foot. My right foot, what happens is there's a little count I'm gonna add. So just try this, go in that foot. Then link, so it goes one, then again two. You see that? So I'm not just going 1, 2. There's a pickup, a 1, a 2. Notice the difference. So it's like almost a little skip on the supporting foot before I do the next step. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 1, a 2, 3. You see the difference, right? Ba, not 1, 2, 3, a 4, just doing the feet. 1, 2. So that little pickup is important. It's the same for the ladies. Tight step, but you get that little whoop, a 1, right? Tight foot, a 2, and then 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 1, a 2. Okay? So give a lot there, focus on the link, get the feet dialed in. Understand the hips, do your chassé as well, and then, and again, use that as a warm-up, and then get that pickup kicking in and count it like this. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So add a little before every count and start to try to feel that is a pickup for you, okay? Now, I'd be very interested for you to do this and then to come back to me and say, I noticed this happen, I've got a new problem now, or like, well, that was awesome, this actually helped our connection, and then see how you go. Now, was that what I wanted to say? Yep, perfect. That's everything I wanted to say. This has been awesome. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Let me know how you go, and send me your videos. Thorough. Dave, appreciate it. Now, I may not be able to get to your videos each and every month, but we will track progress over time. Okay? So I wish you the very best of luck. I look forward to seeing you next month. And again, if you have any technical issues, feel free to screenshot and send them across or shoot me an email. I don't want that to be a barrier to helping you. And videos are definitely the best way to go forward. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.